What are the best binds for movement in CS2? Today I'm going to run over all the necessary binds and subjective binds that will help you improve with movement and make your gameplay overall smoother. To start off easy, this one's going to be quite obvious for most people, but maybe some people still don't know. Using mouse wheel down or up for jump is the absolute best jump bind you can have for b-hopping in this game. Contrary to CSGO, where you would open your console and type bind and wheel down plus jump, that is not the best way to go about it. The best way about getting a scroll wheel jump in this game is by making an auto-exec, and if you don't know how to do that, I'll link a couple of videos in the description. The next most important bind is your crouch bind, which is semi-subjective, but I have recommendations for what the best bind is going to be. Most people are going to have their crouch set to control, but I would highly recommend changing your crouching to spacebar or shift. These two options for crouch allow you to have a dedicated finger for crouch, and that way you're not going to have to lift your fingers off of your strafing keys or anything like that. It'll just become very easy to integrate crouching into your route. Having a jump bug and a long jump bind has become very commonplace in CS2, and I would highly recommend setting these to your mouse 4 and mouse 5, aka your side mouse buttons, and the way you're going to set these up is through an auto exec as well, and once again I'm just going to leave a link in the description on how to set those up. Something that I think is majorly overlooked when binding everything is your quick switch keys, because being able to pull up your op or your knife while you're moving is very important, and I think that having a very easily accessible quick switch is super important. The bind I would recommend using for this is, depending on what you put your crouch on, just finding something out of spacebar, left shift, and control. For me, I use spacebar because I use shift as my crouch and then my control as my walk. Your sensitivity technically isn't a bind, but I think it's necessary to talk about on this topic. When it comes to sensitivity, there's two things that I'm going to say. Having a higher sense is going to make it a lot more accessible to do wide strafes, or if you're doing like a spiral 360, it's just more accessible. Whereas if you have a lower sensitivity, it's going to be a lot easier for you to control things, and it's also going to be a lot easier to long jump than it would be if you had a higher sense. If you have an auto exec set up, I would recommend setting up a secondary jump bind, and this will allow you to do ladder strafes again, or firemans again. Mine is set to mouse 3 or pushing in my mouse wheel. You can actually get mini jumps to work in CS2 by pasting this command in the console. I'll leave it down in the description, and you just want to change the bind to whatever you don't use for your b-hop. The binds I shared with you today are binds that I deem the most optimal for movement. Obviously, I base them off of everybody using WASD, which I hope is the case. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informational and I maybe helped somebody out. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out.